a suspect. Hanging with the killers in the projects. Taylor on a barrel, keep quiet. Catch a nigga slipping from behind. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. Put nigga out like an outbreak. Chopper start to make the house shake.
What it do, sunflower seeds? It's me, Keisha, and I am here with this week's All Tea, All Shade P-Valley Season 2, Episode 9 review. Tonight's episode was awesome. Awesome. Great lead up to next week's season finale. I can't wait to see how everything is going to come together. I'm going to state my predictions at the end of this review, but let's get right into tonight's episode. So we start off the episode with Andre's campaign, child. He has made a campaign commercial with the dancers from the club, child, performing the Lil Murda song. He has fully embraced Chuckalisa, fully embraced the nigga that he is, child, and his background and where he came from, with the help of Corbin and Autumn. Of course, I told y'all that Autumn was going to weasel her way into his campaign and into his life in more ways than one that we found out on tonight's episode. So everybody's, campaigning last minute because whoever wins the mayoral candidate will be announced the next day, pretty much. And so Patrice comes in on a truck with a pole, dressed like Rodney Dangerfield or somebody. I don't know what the fuck Patrice had on. Patrice took it back to her pole days and gave us a cute little 1-2 step. I swore she was gonna fall on her back and break something, but she tried to rekindle her past, child, and it was just giving us no, absolutely not. That's what it was giving us. No, ma'am. So she talks to the crowd and lets everybody know that she was recently bribed to quit the campaign. And of course, Andre is pissed because he thought that Corbin handled everything, but Patrice actually took the money and blasted him, and then decided to shoot the money into the crowd and gave the money that Corbin gave her to everybody in the crowd. Money always finesses people into doing what you want them to do. Excuse me. So Patrice is very much still in the race. So we then see Ernestine in the hospital. Ernestine is going through it. She is still in between, reality and going over to the other side. She thinks that her daughter is her nurse trying to give her water, and she refuses to take the water. She doesn't want the water because I think the water is supposed to represent like her going on to the other side, and she don't want to, and she's fighting it, and she's fighting the nurses and everything, and it's just a big old mess. I still believe that Ernestine is going to die. I think that she's going to pass away by next episode. And it's going to be sad to see Loretta Devine go, because even though she had a small role, she made a big impact on this show. I loved seeing her play Ernestine. She played the hell out of it. So then we see Uncle Clifford and Lil Murda in the kitchen having morning sex, child. And Uncle Clifford is getting his back broke. Getting his back broke down. And I was like, I wish it was me, nigga. I wish it was me, goddammit. So the phone rings and he thinks that it's somebody from the hospital, but it's just a random little scam call or whatever. So they sit down to breakfast that was made by Lil Murda, honey, and I swear he can get it how he motherfucking want it, bitch. Lil Murda can motherfucking get it. He's so motherfucking sexy. Well, he fine, and the actor Alphonse is fine, but he married, but Lil Murda ain't married, goddamn it, so I can flirt with him. But as they're sitting down having breakfast, Uncle Clifford is just basically like, I know our time is coming to an end. I know you're going to go out on tour. I just need to get used to being in this house alone. You're going to be gone. My grandmother's going to be gone. And, there's really not much that Murda can say because he hasn't fully made up his mind if he's going to go on tour. But of course he is. And you could tell that a part of him don't want to just leave Cliff, especially with everything that he has going on. He even says, if you need me, I'll stay. And he was like, no, I'm good. Like, you can go. Like, I'm a big girl. I can handle this. I knew what this was or whatever. So once again, they're going to end up parting each other. in the season finale. And it's going to be sad because I love Murda and Cliff together. I just love them. Woo, 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 woo. But it's about to get real hot for Lil Murda and Chuckalisa, and he ain't gonna be able to stick around. It's gonna be too hot for him there. So we then see Keyshawn talking to Autumn at the club, and she lets Autumn know that she got the passport, she got everything together, they bags packed, ready to go. The kids is at her sister house. Derek got the job, so he gonna be working late. So as soon as she leave the club, she was like, she's gonna get the kids and she about to ski skirt the fuck up out of there. And as soon as she said that, I was like, girl, this is not gonna go down the way that you think it is. It's never gonna go down that easily. So Autumn basically tells her that if this referendum goes through, that she gonna be out of there too, child. And if it don't go through, then she was a dumb bitch and she bet it wrong, pretty much. So we now see that both of these ladies are trying to break the fuck out and go on to their next part of, their life. We then see Keyshawn go into the kitchen to go get some water, and she runs into Diamond, honey. And the chemistry between them two is just palpable, honey. She was like, I didn't know you was in here. She goes to back out, and he was like, you want me to fill that water bottle for you? And I was like, yes, nigga, then pour it on my body and lick it off, please. So he ends up filling up her water bottle. And, they just have a moment with each other. And it's just like, I want y'all to be together. Just stop and be together, please. And then, of course, big bone raggedy ass, here she come interrupting a conversation and shit. And I'm like, bitch, nobody asked you. Nobody's supposed to be here. Get your ass on somewhere, you annoying ass heifer. This ain't for you, bitch. This ain't that. You will never be Keyshawn. So I need for you to chuck up the deuces, bitch, and take your big boned ass, you big Chuck roast looking ass bitch, on somewhere. Stop fucking with my favorite couple now, bitch. So then we see all the girls on stage practicing. It's Mercedes, it's Keyshawn, it's Roulette, it's Whisper, and everybody doing the damn thing. Mercedes is still struggling to do her pole work. She's still nervous. She still has PTSD from being on the pole. Now I know I saw a lot of you in the comment section like, she was dancing on a pole for Coach and Farrah. There's a difference because that's not the club. That's not the stage. It was easier for her to do it there, but that's not the place where she failed. She has PTSD with being on the pole back at the Pynk because that's where everything happened. So it's in her head. So, she's struggling. She's not able to hit all her moves. She almost fall on Keyshawn little bitty ass and squashed her little ass. Then her and Roulette end up arguing because Roulette was like, girl, you need to get your old rickety raggedy AARP looking ass on somewhere. You too old for this shit in the first place. You're gonna get one of us fucked up. And Mercedes was like, bitch, I will fuck you up. And then Roulette was like, girl, you don't want none of this. I'm Roulette, whatever. You don't want shit with me. And then Mercedes was like, bitch, I love playing Russian roulette. And I'm like, both of you hoes is crazy. Can we just talk in regular English instead of talking in metaphors and shit? What the fuck is going on here? Y'all getting on my motherfucking nerves. So Autumn come over there talking her shit, telling Mercedes she ain't ready. And Mercedes was like, and why am I not ready, bitch? Because of you, because of what happened in that room that night. And Autumn like, don't blame me. You need to look at yourself. And then I'm like, bitch, she did what? Like, Autumn, really, bitch? Really? This is why I have a problem with Autumn. Because like, bitch, they came to help you and save your ass. Okay? Like, stop it with the foolishness now, sis. So Uncle Cliff was like, all y'all need to stop because one of y'all gonna get hurt. And Whisper like, somebody always get hurt on nights like this, which was foreshadowing for what's going to happen in the season finale. Somebody's going to die in the season finale, and I got my bets on who it will be, and I'll let you all know at the end of this episode review. So then Mercedes ends up finding out that Keyshawn is going to get the biggest cut off the door, and she's pissed off about it because of course she does not know that that's the money for her to be able to escape from Derek. So at this point she like, fuck y'all can have this shit, I'm done, see how this gonna work without me. And she storms the fuck out. Uncle Clifford ends up following her outside, and she was like, just be honest with me, like, is it over for me? Am I done? Is Keyshawn better than me? And he was like, I forgot exactly what he said, but he did say a line where he was like, you need to dream a new dream. And that's what we're about to see going into season 3 for Mercedes, where she's going to transition out of dancing and into something else. And that something else will involve Farrah. She is going to at some point get back on the pole because she does have to conquer that demon, but she has other things to worry about, like her daughter, her, getting that whole situation intact. At some point, she's going to have to rectify, acknowledge, deal with her and Patrice and her demons from that, as well as getting her love life on track, getting the dance studio on track, because we ain't heard nothing else about the dance studio, child. So I think that's what we'll be focusing on for Mercedes next season, not so much dancing, but I feel like she'll eventually get on the pole for one last hoorah or something next season. So after her Uncle Clifford talk, she ends up getting a text message from none other than Farrah ass. And I was like, here we go. But I knew that shit was going to come back around because of the way it was left off in that episode. So then Big Bone and Keyshawn end up running into each other and they have words back and forth or whatever. And then Big Bone says this. She was like, good thing you leaving tomorrow. And Keyshawn was like, what make you think I'm leaving? She was like, because these walls, whisper, whatever the fuck she said. So obviously she has been creeping in around the damn club and overhearing her conversations with Autumn. So she knows what Keyshawn has planned to do, and that is escape from Derek. And her evil ass is going to use that against her. But I'll talk more about that in a second. So Keyshawn is like, okay, and ignores it. I'm like, girl, you never ignore when nobody say no shit like that to you, girl. Like, the fuck? God damn it, you should have killed her right then and there. So Mercedes ends up going to Memphis, meeting up with Farrah, and she lands at this art exposition that's called the Mercedes Experience. So all of those photos that Farrah took of her are now on display. And of course, Mercedes is just shocked and overwhelmed by it all. And she like, I can't believe like these people are actually looking at me and in awe of me. And so Farrah ends up coming out, and I hated that goddamn wig she had on. It looked, girl, I'm like, is that a 24 piece? Then it had spikes in the top. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was like, bitch, you I can tell you left, coach. I can tell. It's written all over your face. You don't have to say a word. So she tells Mercedes that she's divorcing Coach and, about to focus on her photography and everything. And then, of course, this freaky bitch asked, can they fuck again? And Mercedes was like, no, girl, that was business. It was a little bit of pleasure, but more business. And no, ma'am. So you can tell, especially moving on later on in the episode, that after that talk with Uncle Clifford and then seeing the art exposition, that this is about to be something new for her and that new dream for her. Instead of dancing, she's about to either like start a stripper pole class. I think that's what's going to end up happening. She's going to teach women pole or end up, still modeling for Farrah. And because I was like, okay, you got these pictures on, exhibit. I'm pretty sure, especially since you leaving Coach, you need money. So you're going to sell these pieces of art. So is Mercedes going to get a cut of these sales? Like, what's going on here? Because y'all already played her out of that 40 G's that y'all owed her. So I'm going to need somebody to run Mercedes her money. And I didn't understand why Mercedes didn't bring that up her damn self. Like, bitch, I'm all over this place. I'm going to need a cut of this. Yeah. So like I said, I think next season we'll see Mercedes like teaching a pole class or something to wealthy white women or some shit, or just women in general, and still modeling or whatever, but it won't be her dancing so much in the pink. So we then see Autumn in the club, child, and this bitch runs into the bathroom vomiting. And mind you, she put her hands on that nasty toilet seat with shit on the inside, and then had the nerve when she got done to be patting down her hair. And I'm like, bitch, you got shit on your hands. You got period blood on your hands. You got piss on your bitch. I ain't no way in hell I would have touched that toilet, bitch. I would have threw up on the floor before I touched it, went near it or anything. That scene was disgusting. So after she gets done vomiting, Whisper was like, you ready for some twins? So then we find out the big kaboom, the big kabang is that Autumn ass is pregnant by motherfucking Andre. She's about to have her rainbow babies after losing her daughter. Now her ass is fucking pregnant by Andre, who is still married to motherfucking Brittany and about to be the mayor of Chucalissa. I told y'all niggas that she was going to be an intricate part of Andre being the mayor, and she was going to be right by his side running Chucalissa and become a big fixture in Chucalissa. I told y'all that earlier in the season. I knew it. So she's of course shocked by this. Shocked. So it's finally the reopening. Everybody's getting ready to make this Skrilla honey to dance they coochie away. Everybody is getting ready. Uncle Clifford's in the back with the girls, and Toy coughs, y'all. He was like, who was that? Everybody looking at Toy. He was like, bitch, you almost killed my grandmother. Get the fuck out of here ASAP. Don't you bring your ass back here. Your ass is fired. And she crying because, of course, she don't want to get fired. She needs the money. She was like, I wasn't even the one that gave his grandmother that. And I felt bad for Toy. I really honestly did. I do feel like either next season Toy will eventually be forgiven and asked back, or I feel like Toy is going to be a casualty next season of Roulette's extracurricular activities, if you know what I mean. So, after that, Uncle Clifford ends up seeing Lil Murda's IG post where he tells everybody to come down to the Pynk that night because him and Tina Snow will be there performing and starting. That'll be the first night of their joint tour. So Uncle Clifford is like, the fuck this nigga just do this shit for? Like, he ain't tell me, ain't ask me nothing. We then see Megan Thee Stallion, aka Tina Snow, coming into the club with Lil Murda. They both got on their furs that's made into trains. They walking into the club, everybody on their dick. The Hurtville Hustlers, and then the Chief I Chi Diggers is there. So you already know it's about to be static, especially after what just happened to Pico. And you see Maine and his friend chopping it up, and the friend was like, he ain't claim it, talking about Lil Murda ain't claimed the fact that he did kill Pico. They ain't heard no word that he didn't claim it or nothing like that. But Maine is like, don't mean he ain't do it. So Maine already got his eye on Lil Murda. He wants fucking revenge, and he don't already like him based off what happened last season. So Uncle Clifford inside the club confronts Lil Murda about just making decisions on what happened in his club without asking him. And, you know, Lil Murda throws on a charm and starts to, flirt with him. And I was like, do it again. I wish it was me. So Uncle Cliff was like, you better go on somewhere before I suck your dick right now. He was like, shit, not if I don't do you first. And I was like, shit, I want to watch. So Uncle Clifford ends up making a comment, it better not be another murder night. And he was like, I ain't gonna never be able to outlive that. Like, you can tell, like, they still have so much lingering shit between them two that needs to be discussed and forgiven. So Tina Snow ends up coming out, and of course, you know, Murda gotta act like he this butch ass gangster nigga in front of her, and she flirting with him, and Uncle Clifford get jealous and take her bottle and tell her to get back on the boat and ship her ass back to Africa, wherever the fuck she came from. He is pissed. And so one of the girls tell Uncle Clifford that it's somebody waiting on him in the Paradise Room. And Lil Murda was like, since when you got customers in the Paradise Room? And he was like, wouldn't you like to know, motherfucker, about your business, bitch? And of course, Lil Murda is pissed off about this because that's his boo thing. Like, the fuck, that's mine. Like, can't nobody have that bussy but me. So we then see Roulette come through the club, baby Versace down with all her stolen goods and stolen money and shit. And Whisper is outdoors consoling Toy ass. Toy talking about some, she don't know what she gonna do. She about to get evicted. She need the money. And Whisper was like, Roulette can help you. So Roulette ended up giving her a stack of money. And she was like, I'll pay you back. She was like, no, that ain't no loan. That's for you to, work off, bitch. And she was like, is this what I think it is? And Whisper was like, yeah, like she took care of me, she protected me, she'll protect you. And I was like, here we go with this bullshit. Here we motherfucking go. Roulette is about to bring a world of trouble to the Pynk. First of all, she been doing coke in the Pynk. She been selling pussy in the Pynk. Now she Whisper and Toy's pimp. She out here robbing niggas. Like, next season is going to be lit, and everything that Roulette been out here doing is going to catch up to her, and one of these girls is going to end up being a casualty of her bullshit, and it's either going to be Whisper or Toy. Somebody's going to end up getting hurt, and I feel like she's going to end up having to run to Big L and Duffy for help. Because remember, her and Big L had that little connection earlier in the season, once he found out that she knew about wrestling and stuff like that. So yeah, Roulette got a world of trouble coming her way next season. So we then see Corbin is the one that's in the Paradise Room, and his ass is itching to get beat. Ever since he's been banned, he's been craving to, get his back blown out, literally. And so he even goes as far as to tell Uncle Clifford that he'll pay him $250,000 to fucking do it. So of course Uncle Clifford ain't turning down that type of money. Fuck no. But what I think is about to happen is that money that Corbin just paid him, as well as if Ernestine, I feel like Ernestine dies. I feel like, of course, she's going to have an insurance policy. So I think the money from the insurance policy plus this $250K that he gets from Corbin is going to be used to help him save this damn club. So, we then see Autumn cheersing with Corbin and Andre and them about, winning the campaign, even though the official numbers haven't came out. But, everybody's like, you got this pretty much. Corbin got blood and shit on the back of his shirt, child, from getting his ass whipped. But before I move on to Andre and Autumn, I found it quite weird, but maybe that's the trust that they have in their friendship, because Corbin and Uncle Clifford grew up together. Katori Hall made that clear last week with her tweets that I didn't get a chance to do the video last week, but I will resume doing my Katori Hall tweet videos. But anywho, she clarified last week that Corbin and Uncle Clifford grew up together. They went to school together. They were best friends together and everything. So I found it kind of weird that he would ask Uncle Clifford to be the one that be beating him on his back, because he said that Uncle Clifford was the best to do it, child. But maybe that's why they're so close, because they hold so many of each other's secrets. But back to Autumn and Andre. She's cheersing with the dudes or whatever. They all taking shots, but she throws hers over her shoulder, and Andre notices it, but he doesn't say anything. And I was like, child, this girl is pregnant and she is keeping these kids, child. Now, whether or not she gonna tell him is a whole nother conversation. So, Maine and his partners and everything in the audience kicking it, and he mean mugging the Hurtville hustlers. It's static, it's tension in the room. You just know some shit about to go down. We then see Duffy in the hallway, and he run into Roulette, and he trying to holler at her. He grab her arm, and she choked that nigga, yoked that nigga up and push him up against the wall. Like, I know you ain't trying to handle me like that. And so as she's walking off, he was like, while you out here pleasing everybody else, who pleases you? And she said, white nigga, what? That line was funny as hell to me. So he was like, I said, who pleases you? And so he pushed her ass up against the wall, and she was like, shit, if you got the balls to do it, do it. So he then get the finger popping her up against the wall, and I just love their connection, honey. Duffy and Roulette are everything together. I need for this to be a thing. I need for them to be a couple. Yes, I need for this to happen. I don't want to see Duffy die behind this bitch, but I'm loving their chemistry and their whole gig. Like, I'm loving this. Yes, I need for them to be together. So Andre, after his speech in the club, talks to Autumn in the hallway, and he was like, have you ever thought about leasing instead of selling, and sticking around? And she doesn't really give him a straight answer. She was like, you know what, let's just get out of here. I gotta tell you something. So at this point, it seems like she's about to tell him either A, she's pregnant, or either B, that she about to leave. I think that it was A, that she wanted to tell him that she was pregnant, because she even went as far as to call him her king. So I really think at this point she was starting to fall for Andre and seeing them as this power couple, this family that they could be. And she wanted to take him back home and tell him. I do see them somehow, some way ending up with each other. So, where was I at? So then we see Tina Snow performing on stage. Of course, she does the damn thing. Mississippi Whisper and Roulette on there killing it. And Mississippi is fucking the club up. Maine and Mercedes is in the audience watching, and Maine even goes as far as to say to Mercedes, that bitch dancing like it's her last night. And Mercedes, it finally clicks for her. She was like, I think it is. And he was like, why you ain't up there? She was like, sometimes you just got to watch from the audience and enjoy. So like she finally came to that realization, like, damn, like this is her last night. She needed the money because she's finally about to make her escape. And she's so proud of Keyshawn in that moment. So Lil Murda is on stage. He come out rapping and he got the crowd hype. And at one point he even turned to Uncle Clifford and started rapping to him and wink his eye. And I was like, bitch, we are in love, bitch. So Uncle Clifford lost his motherfucking shit. And I was like, okay, Lil Murda, are you becoming even more comfortable in your sexuality and who you are and living out loud? You better do the damn thing. So then in the audience, hear these niggas go, niggas gotta be niggas. Main friend push one of the Hurtville hustlers, and then Main step up and Main end up punching the dude, and then everybody get the banging from the two different sets. Some of the dudes run up on the stage to try to fuck Lil Murda up, and it's a whole big melee, and everybody start fighting, including Lil Murda. He done knocked the nigga out. That he get pulled off the stage somehow, some way. Mississippi end up getting trampled over, and here come Diamond, like Kevin Costner, bitch, and come save his Whitney Houston, bitch. He come save Mississippi up off the stage. He get her to safety. He was like, you all right? And she can't even hold it back no more. She gives him the kiss that he been waiting on, been wanting, that she been wanting, and they have the most beautiful, sensual, loving kiss ever. And it fuck his head up, and he like, dude, like, first of all, he fucking with Big Bone. She still got her situation. He don't know that she about to leave. Everybody's going crazy in the club. It's just like the wrong time, but the right person. And she was like, Diamond. He was like, he just walked off. Little did they know that Big Bone saw everything. And of course, this bitch is green with envy. And I knew right then and there what this ignorant bitch was going to do. Based off that comment that she made early in the episode when she was like, I'm so happy you leaving tomorrow. She knows that she's escaping Derek. So I knew right then and there that Big Bone was going to find out where Derek worked and tell him what Keyshawn was planning to do to get back at her. And that's a dangerous type of hoe to do some shit like that to an abuse victim, to put her in danger like that. But that bitch already came up there on a mission anyway. So I was like, oh Lord, this is about to go down. But remember, I told y'all Keyshawn got to save herself. It wasn't just going to be that easy for her to make an escape plan and just dip like that. But Derek is going to find out what happened via Big Bone and put an end to her being able to just run off in the sunset with them kids. It's not going to be that easy. They will have a huge showdown in the season finale. So downstairs in the basement, Uncle Clifford trying to calm Lil Murda down, and he was like, what is going on? Like, why is these niggas fighting in my club? Why are you fighting? And Lil Murda going to fuck off, talking about them niggas trying to rush me on stage. I'm sick of them niggas. I'll put another one of them niggas in the dirt. And Cliff was like, is that what I helped you cover up that night? And Lil Murda don't want to answer him because remember, he still ain't told him about Big Teak. And he was like, I wet they block up, but not that night. He was like, something else happened that night. And he still hasn't told Cliff. And like I said, I feel like when Uncle Clifford finds out what happened, that's going to further push them apart from each other. Because I think that Uncle Clifford could have handled, him killing somebody, based off some beef shit in the street. But to find out that he actually was so distraught because he was in the car with one of his lovers who he actually loved and cared for, and witnessed him killing himself. And once again, the question will be, if that hadn't happened, would you even be here? You know what I'm saying? Like, you had feelings for somebody else. Here I was, sick, waiting for you to come back home, thinking I see your ass everywhere, and you was out here on tour with your boo thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that has to hurt. Like, it's going to make Uncle Clifford feel like, was I your second choice? Even though we know that's not the case, but that's how it's going to make him feel, and it's going to be heart-wrenching to see. Woo. So Uncle Cliff was like, I'm gonna have to get you security while you're on tour, because these niggas want your ass. Like, they out for blood. And Lil Murda was like, nah, fuck that, I'm gonna be my own security from now moving forward. And we all know why he doesn't want another security personnel. But that's only going to make situations worse with him getting his hands dirty. I'm like, Lord, shit gonna kick off of your ass and you gonna get locked up like Gunna and fucking Lil Thug. So when he storms out, Uncle Clifford kicks one of the boxes over and outpours all of the oxycodone and everything that Big L and Duffy have been stashing in the club. And now I thought that after, what was it? I forgot what episode it was. Remember, I was like, I didn't know that Uncle Clifford knew that they was selling pills out of the club. I guess I misinterpreted this one scene where I thought that he knew, but come to find out, no, he didn't know that Big L was selling, transporting drugs and stuff out of the club. So we then see Autumn and Andre making out, kissing each other, going into his house, and they turn on the light and it's Brittany sitting right there. And I was like, oh, here we go. Yeah, nigga, you're still married and you don't even know that your mistress, your side bitch, is pregnant with your babies. This is about to be a shit show. So then we see Uncle Clifford confront Big L about, doing his plug shit in his club. He told him he didn't want to have no parts of it. And Big L was like, you keep on letting everybody else take your power. You basically got to handle this shit on your own. Man the fuck up and stop letting motherfuckers run over you. And he even makes a comment about Autumn. He was like, shit, if she did, she can't sell the damn place. And Uncle Clifford looking like, nigga, I'm not about to go that far to keep no damn club. And he was like, you know what? You fired. And Big L was like, you gonna fire me after everything I done for you? And he was like, you know what? I quit. And then he stormed out. And I was like, Uncle Clifford, don't do Big L like that. Yeah, he was wrong, but that's your ace boon coon. Like, he down for you 10 toes. And as soon as Big L stormed out, Uncle Clifford regretted it, because he was like, Big L, but Big L slammed the door in his face. And then the phone rang. And it was the hospital calling, and you can tell that he got bad news. And like I said, I really feel like Ernestine is going to pass away. And like I said, I think that Uncle Clifford is going to get a lump sum from this insurance policy, as well as he got that $250K from Corbin. And that's going to help him somehow, some way. That money is going to come into play and help him be able to keep the pink. So Mercedes and Murda end up talking. They, haven't really had any scenes together since season 1. And, he just basically tell her, like, you a legend. Like, I still get nervous around you. Like, he really pump her up and make her realize who the fuck she is. And he lets her listen to one of his new songs or whatever. And we get, episode 1, season 1 all over again, but they're in a much better place now. So then we see Uncle Clifford catching Keyshawn writing a goodbye little note on the mirror, and he was like, so you just gonna leave without saying nothing? And she was like, I didn't think that you would want to hear or see from me. So he basically tell her to go head on, and he love her pretty much, and he never want to see her pretty face there again. Like, he's just happy that she's able to escape, and he just wants the best for her at the end of the day. And then Uncle Clifford sits down, and we hear DJ Never Scared in the background announcing that ain't nothing stopping the Pynk from closing at night. We still about to party. We about to have another performance from Tina Snow and Lil Murda. We about to get this shit started. and Uncle Clifford is staring off into the distance with a somber look on his face, and it closes out with a to be continued for next week. Excellent episode. I give it an A+. It was highly entertaining, very moving, a lot of touching moments that I really truly liked. My predictions for the season finale, I feel like Ernestine is dead. I also think that Lil Murda's performance is going to end up going really great, but he still has that pending threat from the Chief Chi where they want his head on a swivel. Oh, I forgot one part too. We also saw Big Bone sitting outside on her motorcycle looking at pictures of her and Diamond laid up in the bed. She's salty. She feeling some type of way, and we see one photo where she has the ring that belonged to Montavious, and she took a picture of it, and it's obvious that she had been holding on to this picture. She hadn't sent it back to Montavious and them people back in Texas yet, because she had started to have feelings for Diamond. But now that she saw him kissing Keyshawn, she's bitter, she's angry, and she's mad. So she's going to send that picture to them people down in Texas, and them people from Texas gonna end up bringing their asses up there, of course, because they of course want to find out what happened to their brother, and you would have, his ring if he wasn't dead. You know what I'm saying? And it's about to be some problems with that whole situation. And remember, Montavious even warned Autumn that his people would come looking for him eventually if anything happened to him. So I think what's going to end up happening is when them dudes end up coming up there from Texas trying to find Montavious and then see Autumn ass there, that's going to be, I feel like, one of the way that Uncle Clifford is going to be able to get that club from her. Because he knows what happened to Montavious. He could easily pin everything on her, tell them where she's at, and I think that he's going to use that as a way to get the club from her. And especially since she pregnant, she don't want to lose no more kids. You know how much she wants kids, so she gonna do whatever she gotta do to not only protect herself, but to protect her unborn children and this life that she's trying to build with Andre. I don't think that Andre is going to find out soon, or even in next week's season finale episode that she's pregnant. I don't think that's going to come out until next season. I think next season he'll find out that she's pregnant. He'll be going through this nasty divorce with Brittany that probably is going to sabotage him being the new mayor, him having a mistress with babies on the way. Also, the threat of these guys from Texas coming up here to kill her ass is going to be a whole nother issue and a problem. I think that, like I said, I think in the season finale, Uncle Clifford will finally find out about the Big Teak situation. I think that he'll be able to get the club back from Autumn. I think that Lil Murda is going to end up going back on tour and maybe possibly be willing to open up a being who he really truly is. I don't think he'll be like full out I'm gay, but I think he'll be inching towards being comfortable with his sexuality and who he is. But I also feel like he'll go out on tour with Tina Snow because he got too much heat back in Chucalissa. As far as Keyshawn is concerned, I think that as we saw in the trailer, the teaser trailer for next week's episode, Keyshawn is going to leave the club that morning and go get the car that she has gotten to, get used to get away from Derek. I think after her conversation with Lil Murda, in that parking lot, she's going to go to her sister's house early that morning to go pick up the kids so they can go. But I really feel like when she gets there, them kids are not going to be there. Now, I don't know if Derek is going to just have picked them up, or either he'll be sitting there waiting on her, knowing what she was about to do, or he will have harmed those kids. I'm praying they don't go to the drastic lengths of him killing them kids. Who, Lord, that'll be a lot. But we saw her screaming, but I feel like something really bad is going to happen. Either she's going to get caught, or like I said, he's going to have harmed her sister and them kids, or he either going to be sitting there when she walked through the door. Maybe he's holding her sister at gunpoint or something. But like I said, it's going to be a showdown between Derek and Keyshawn. And Keyshawn is going to have to fight her way up out that motherfucker and kill his ass. That's the only way she going to be able to get rid of Derek. Like I said with Big Bone, she gonna call them niggas up there. That's about to be a whole nother problem. And also remember what Diamond told her, if she touched that ring, what was going to happen to her. Like she'll break out in bumps or something like that. Like some real nasty shit gonna end up happening to her next season for her touching that fucking ring. That shit gonna come back on her ass. And especially when he find out that she was the op in the first place, that's really gonna make him hate her and push him even further closer to Keyshawn. Keyshawn is not going nowhere. Whatever happens in next week's episode when she got to get rid of Derek is going to be the thing that causes her to end up staying in Chuckalisa, and her and Diamond getting to, you know, finally edge towards being together. Because I feel like whatever happens, he's going to end up being there for her. So yes, those are my predictions. Oh, and then I felt like Mercedes also is going to, like I said, start working with Farrah. Either like I said with modeling, or like I said, they gonna get some type of business going with pole dancing. She's gonna create a whole new avenue for herself moving into next season. And Maine, and like remember I said to you guys, I feel like it's gonna end up being a situation where Maine and Mercedes is going to eventually get closer and be together, especially once she get her shit in order. She'll be able to fully give herself to him finally. And because a lot of you were confused too last week's episode of why she didn't sleep with Maine. And Katori on her Twitter was like, for years, Maine has always been Mercedes' hood therapist. So that night, that's what she wanted from him, not sex. It's not that she doesn't like him, that she's not attracted to him or none of that. She just wasn't in the mood for sex. She just needed him to be there for her. That's not what she was looking for. But, you know, of course, there's still a lot of attraction and all that between them. So, like I said, I really feel like moving into season 3 is going to be a situation where Mercedes and Maine are finally able to get together. He got this beef against Lil Murda. I feel like somehow, some way, you know, Uncle Clifford's going to find out that he is one of the dudes, or not one of the dudes, but the main nigga that's gunning for Lil Murda's head. And of course, he cares and loves Lil Murda, so he not going to want to see nothing happen to him. And so I really feel like that's going to end up causing a rift between Mercedes and Uncle Clifford moving into season 3, where they choosing they niggas over their friendship. But I also feel like it's somehow, some way, they're gonna, of course, make their way back to each other. All right, you guys, so that is my review of P-Valley season 2 episode 9. I can't wait for the season finale episode next week. I love you guys, and I want to let you all know also that August 19th through the 23rd, I will be on vacation for my birthday. My birthday is August 21st. I'll be 41. So I'll be on vacation from the 19th to the 23rd. All reviews will resume when I get back home. I want to put you all up on game on that. Of course, I'll still have, you know, pre-recorded videos releasing during those days, but just no reviews. All right, you guys, make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell button, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye.